Welcome back. Today, let's talk about Lori's third husband, Joe Ryan, and the mysterious death and life insurance and all that kind of stuff. I did a video about this 2 or 3 years ago, but we have some new information that I wanted to share with you. I've written it down. Oh, also, I apologize to some if it bothers you. We're experiencing a fairly heavy thunderstorm with quite a lot of rain. So for me, I love that type of environment. It makes me want to cuddle up with a book and just kind of relax and have a great day. So let me get my notes here, and I don't want to miss anything. So let's see. The husband number 2 was William. I say it La Jolla. Some people are saying it La Jolla. But that reminds me of the beach in California that is written this way, that goes by La Jolla. So Lori Vallow's third husband is Joe Ryan, and there's some pretty strange and questionable information about him and his death. He died in late March. We don't have the exact date, but the obituary says April the 3rd of 2019. The reason it says that is because that's the day that he was found. And then let me just kind of backtrack a little and give you some of the leading up to his death and the situation. It said, and I'll just say this is my opinion, but I'm not the only one that has this opinion, that he was in a battle with Lori Vallow to see his one and only child, which is Tylee. And the court battle was several years. So it was quite expensive for him. And let me let you know that, where did I write that down? Joe Ryan, and his sister is Annie Cushion. And then they have a brother, and I didn't grab that name. I haven't been able to find it yet. But they were placed in foster care. His mother was diagnosed with having she was schizophrenic or schizophrenia, and also was abusive and an alcoholic. Now, those things are reported, so that part I'm not guessing on, but I want to give you my opinion when I do guess. And let's see, Lori separated from him. They had a whirlwind romance. He said he was happier, he told his sister, than he had ever been. Annie Cushion became close friends with Lori and just adored her, until Lori decided that was all for her. And then prior to her marriage with Joe, she requested or said she wouldn't marry him unless he became a Mormon, which they like to use the word Latter-day Saints. Sorry, I've had an issue with lost my speech, and it took a long time to get it back, so I may just pardon those pauses. And she requests that he stop drinking alcohol. And he was happy to oblige those things and married her. And then after just a few years, of course, Tylee was born, and she was raising Kobe, which we know is the survivor of this family. And I can also recommend his YouTube channel. He's gone through so much. It's the Scar Wars podcast, and he also has a channel under his name, Kobe, I believe it's J. Ryan. I'll put the link below. So she made sure that Kobe took the name Ryan when she got married to Joe Ryan. Their court custody battle was really crazy. There are reports that Tylee was required for Tylee to go to counseling. The counselor suggested, or was not 100% sure, but from what she's seen, she felt like Lori was, I could take these off, I guess. Lori was coaching her to claim that she experienced SA from her father. Tylee was very young, and she even began coaching Kobe. And Kobe's talked a little bit about this, and it seems like it was sort of blown out of proportion maybe when he gave him a spanking, a couple of things. But the kiddos did what their mom wanted, and which is obviously very normal. But let's talk about prior to his death. There was a really horrible situation that Alex went to prison for. The plan was, and he told the officers this, so I found that really odd. Kind of wonder about Alex's mental acuity during this time, or at least after his car wreck when he was a bit younger. So Alex told the police, it's in the report, that their idea was for him at this meeting place, which I understood was outside of a large office at a police station, before Joe Ryan was able to see Tylee. Alex attacked him, assaulted him with a stun gun, with the idea of rolling him up in the carpet tarp that he had in the back of his truck to haul him away and end his life. So I don't know about how much Alex revealed about that. His court case, he was found guilty and sentenced to 1 year in prison for that. And then it turned out, and I don't have the details of why, that he actually served 3 months and he was able to be released early. So I'm gonna check down. I think I've covered the notes from the early part. So the relationship from Lori and her older brother Alex was very strange. And just like in these other situations with the deaths that we're going through right now in trial, the death of Charles Vallow was, then you get the drift that there were reasons behind it, and she used Alex to get what she wants. So, let me see what else. Okay, let's just skip on to the part about the very expensive court battle that lasted several years. He became very depressed during this time, and due to his expenses, it was reported by Justin Lum, which is top of the line. He gets his facts and has the receipts. I really do trust him. That he moved in with his attorney in Austin, and I've written down Tamaguchi. I don't have his first name, but I can put it in the link below so that you can look up. There was a really good video, a news video about that Justin did. So he finally moved into his own apartment, and there's speculation, and make sure speculation warning, it wouldn't surprise me that Lori went to his apartment and under the guise of, we're gonna make up, let's figure this out, but she was already married to Charles Vallow, so it's uncertain. But he was discovered while he was already decomposed. He was 59 years old at the time, and a person that was walking the dog through the complex noticed his dog was really going crazy over something around that door. So he knocked on the door next to the one that the dog was having concerns about, and they realized there was an odor, a smell. So it was actually the person that lived next to Joe Ryan in the apartment. Okay, one thing that turned out to be kind of strange, well, there are several things. There's been 2 investigations about this. The first one was kind of open close. He was ruled that he had a heart attack because of his health issues, stress, and he was quickly cremated. That was the first story. That investigation was brief. Very little time was spent on that. But what I find is the interesting thing is what I think maybe Lori's, let's see if I can straight. Okay. I don't want this to be very long, so I need to kind of begin to speed up here. He had his door deadlocked, so it would be obvious that there wasn't a person that visited, and there was a lot of talk about eye drops and things because that was kind of a deal that was happening in that area. And I don't know, because he was cremated. But the only way that someone would have been able to kind of end his life would be, they would have to take the time to remember to lock the door and deadlock and then go out the window. Because that is the way that he was discovered. They didn't have a way to undo the deadlock from the outside, and so they went in through the window. They didn't think to really look and see if it appeared that someone had gone through the window, but anyway. So Joe Ryan's sister is Annie Cushion, and she also has a podcast. I will list it below. These are really incredible people, and she didn't know about his death until approximately 5 weeks later, when she was attempting to let Joe Ryan know that their mother had died, and was having trouble getting a hold of anyone because at some point his body was not claimed, and it's unsure how, at the morgue, and it's unsure how when he was cremated. If you know, because some of these people, the ones, I just love you guys because y'all will share the knowledge that you've got, share the resources, and also I love to hear your opinions if you have things that you're speculating about, because I wonder if this is the first time that Lori Vallow got away with taking or causing the death of her third husband. So, as the result was, Joe Ryan had her listed as his next of kin. She received, I think it was 65,000. No, it was even 60K of life insurance. And in addition to that, she also received 2,000 a month from Social Security. And I had no clue that children would receive anything close to that, but she did tell her family that money was to come into her so that she could buy things for Tylee, and it was not like directed, or she was the conservator. I'm not sure, power of attorney, but that I felt like, hey, that is an awful lot of money. Even, I know people have $1 million life insurance policies. And I'll just tell you from my own viewpoint, I don't think that's wise. I think leaving a regular amount, especially if there's a child, would, I don't know, maybe 50 to 100,000, but I would never, I don't think you need to give anybody a reason to take you out. I don't know. There's so many things YouTube will block you from. I just don't think that you want to have someone, even though you solely trust them, wonderful people, ever have an inkling of that it was time for you to go so they could receive something. So let me see. Links below. I talked about that. There's another good, I didn't know this person. I haven't watched hers, but it's called True Crime Recaps, that really did a deep dive into this situation. His investigation when all of this happened with the missing kids and with Charles Vallow's death and the death of Chad Daybell's, I'm going to say former wife, because she wasn't, at the time when she passed away, I don't see her as his first wife, because she was his wife. So, trying to figure out a way to word that is really respectful is something that I'm not sure of. And please leave your comments below. They generate some incredible discussions. I'm really nearing the end now. There was a quick cremation of his body, and the body was found 3 days, was the approximation from the FOIA report. Yeah, and I already talked about the interview with Justin Alone, which is another great person to follow. So, I do have a Bible quote, and I will look up and find out where the verse is, but there are many of these, but one specifically, I think, applies to this. It says, if you live by the sword, you're going to die by the sword. Or if you live, in my opinion, you can interpret that so many ways. If you live with a gun beside yourself, chances are great that you're going to die in that fashion. So I see it as not to be really careful to not have hate in your heart. And that's one of the things that Jesus preached. Because, I mean, and it's important to live your life in such a manner that that you wouldn't have people that would be out to get you because you've taken advantage of people. Okay, let's wrap this up. Thank you for your time. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I'll post this on my main channel, and then I'll go post it on my new one that's Crimes in Court. So please like it and subscribe. I'm only a few subscribers away from 500, and that's just blows me away. So thank you. Thank you. I love you guys. And I look forward to reading your comments, because many of you may have extra information that I wasn't able to locate. So I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.